Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today I am doing a page in my Cosmic Smash book. So I believe there are 60 pages in my Christmas in July journal here, and I did a little bit differently. What I did is I made a nice big fat chunky journal with a Christmas sort of July theme on the cover, and I've been smashing in some summer journaling, a little touch of Christmas here for the 4th of July, and I'm going to leave half of the pages blank, or these are calendar pages. I'm going to leave them as they are and come back to this book in December and make this like a December daily. So if I leave half, that'll give me like 30 pages to journal on later. And I believe I have like 26 pages done in here. So I'm going to do a few more in this book, and then I'm going to put it on the shelf and do some more journaling in here in December. So this is going to be a smash up of summer journaling and Christmas journaling. Well, I just did a memorial page, but you know what? I'm going to do another one because today is 9/11 and we all have 9/11 stories. And you know, you got to journal the fun, happy stuff, and sometimes when you're emotional about something, you've got to journal about that too. It's just a very cathartic way of dealing with your emotions. And so I know that this page was very emotional for some people, and it was for me too. But now it's 9/11 and it's sort of like back to back, but I am going to do a page to remember 9/11. And what I did was take a piece of watercolor paper that is almost the size of the page. So we're going to use this because I want to make a watercolor background. So I'm going to move my monster size journal out of the way and get ready to paint a background. Okay, I'm going to try to paint this with a kitty in my lap. I think I'll wet the paper first. When you do background, you want a nice big brush. Sometimes you want to get the paper a little wet. I'm tilting it to the side so I can see what area needs to be covered. And then you wait a minute until the paper has absorbed some of that moisture. Okay, I am using my really big watercolor box that I've had for years and years and years and years. I have a cat is still in my lap. I'm waiting for her to get bored and jump off. And let's see, let's use a couple of different blues. This is phthalo blue. It's a staining color, so I'm going to water it down a little bit. And I'm just going to make a nice blue sky. Leave a couple little spaces of white. Then I'm going to let this dry because I had an idea for a Dollar Tree stencil that I bought that I haven't used yet. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Simple, easy, quick. It's going to dry a little bit lighter than what it is. You know, I think I put a little more brighter blue up here because the sky is actually brighter higher up and softer more towards the horizon. I'm just going to make the top a little brighter. I like this part though. And it's going to get covered up anyway. Alright, I'm going to let this dry and then I'll be back. Okay, my idea here was to just put a couple of birds in the background. Some bluebirds flying around. Or should I put the buildings on first? You know what? I'm going to put the buildings on first. Okay, to represent the Twin Towers, and I know 9/11 is also about the Pentagon and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, with the plane crash there, but I think the most iconic image is the Twin Towers. So I cut 4 rectangles, 2 light green, 2 dark green, and I'm going to glue the light green to the dark green, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it look a little two-dimensional. Okay, I glued the light green to the dark green. Trouble Kitty is back on my lap again. And all I'm going to do is cut this corner like that. And then I'm going to take this and make the same angle of a cut on this one. Okay. And I got a little bit of an overlap at the top here. I'm just going to cut that off. And let's see. I'm going to glue them down with one just a little bit shorter than the other, because when you're looking at the buildings from an angle, I guess the one that's further away probably appears a little shorter. So I'm going to measure these and trim the end and then glue these down. Okay, I just eyeballed these. I didn't measure or anything, but if you can make a couple of rectangles, you can make the World Trade Center. Oh, I got a little bit of the shimmer paint mixed in with the blue, but that's okay. The sparkly sky is good. And what was I going to do now? Oh, now I was going to move some junk out of the way. Put a couple little birds flying around. Little blue birds. I'm just going to use the StazOn. And this is my Dollar Tree stencil. I'm not going to make them very dark. I just want it to be faint. Sort of like a tone on tone. Like that. And I'm looking for the birds that are flying. Pounce, 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 pounce. And let's see. Here's one. I don't want the big birds. There's some bigger birds on here. I just want the little ones. The little one. Little blue birds. Looking for a little one going the other way. Oh, there's one. And let's see, there's one flying up. this one came out a little dark. That's all right. That's okay. I got some ink on there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to look, see what else is on here. Put another little one. I could put a big one down here. Like that. And I guess if I wipe this off, I could flip it over and do it the other way. Let's see, need some water. Need some water. Get some of this ink off so I can flip it around. Without making too much of a mess. It's hard to see that blue on this green though. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to flip this over. And I want this bird. Just make him a little higher, I think. Sponge. Sponge. Uh-oh, where's my sponge? How can I lose things that are like right in front of me all the time? The cat took it. That was down on the floor. Okay, and let's see. 7 stars. I mean 7 stars. 7 birds. I think that's enough. I think that's good. Don't want to overdo it. Oh, cat's got sneezies. Ever since we had the sneezies, the cats had the sneezies too. Of course, it doesn't help when she eats every little piece of paper she finds on the floor. Okay, now this is where I'm going to overdo it. I was waiting for the repair guy to come fix my internet yesterday. And I got out my Big Shot and cut a bunch of flowers from some scraps of paper. So I got lots and lots of flowers, and I did some leaves. I might want to make some more leaves. But I did make lots and lots of flowers. So what I'm going to do is cover the front of the building with flowers. And I was thinking about maybe some little vines coming up from the bottom. There's a bigger one in here somewhere. And then putting some flowers, and then maybe I will journal between the buildings. I know I didn't leave myself any space, did I? Oh, here's the big one. Let's see. So I'm just going to, oh, here's a sparkly one. A nice sparkly one. Put some greenery at the bottom. And some flowers coming up. And these are mostly Tim Holtz dies. I'll get a yellow one. But do you remember where you were on 9/11/2001? 20 years ago. Everybody has a story. If you'd like to share your story below, I would appreciate it. I was teaching first grade, and the principal called us into the office and told us what happened, and told us that we cannot turn on our televisions in the classroom. So when my kiddos went to lunch, the first thing I did was block the window in the door so nobody could see in, and I turned on the television to see what was happening. And my sister did call me at the school, and because she was worried about our stepmom, who lives and works in Manhattan. And actually, if you stand on the balcony of her apartment, you get a very excellent view of lower Manhattan. Her apartment's in Chelsea, and of the Twin Towers. Well, it used to be the Twin Towers. And I remember just going out on the balcony and seeing the Twin Towers all the time. And she actually at that time was working in a building very near the Twin Towers. And so my sister had called her and got no answer at home. She did not have a cell phone at that time. And so she was very worried and kept calling her all day, all day, all day. Well, when I finally got home from school, you can imagine how upset everybody was that day. Right around 3 o'clock or 3:30, I think it was, my sister finally got a hold of my stepmom, and well, at this point my father had already passed, and apparently she worked in the building right near the World Trade, but her office was on the opposite side. But when she went over to the other side, when everybody told her what was happening, she said she did see the bodies falling from the building, and that was very sad. And being a New Yorker, she wanted to help out, do something, but they finally evacuated everyone from her building, from Lower Manhattan there, and the subway wasn't running. So she decided that she needed to go vote for some reason. She said it was a primary for something, I don't know. And I guess she got there and it had closed. So she went to donate blood. Oh, that was the next thing. So she got in this really long line of people waiting to donate blood. And when she got to the head of the line, of course, at this time, let's see, how old was she? 20 years ago. She was 70 maybe at the time. They told her to go home. And so my sister finally got her hold of her, you know, around 3:30 in the afternoon. So that was from, you know, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. And so we felt better about that. But it just a very emotional day for everyone. And it's something that the people who lived through it are never going to forget. Okay, you know what? I'm piling these on here, but I'm going to have to take them all off to glue them down. So I think what I'm going to do is just start by, oh, here comes trouble again, gluing down these parts down here, the leafy bits, and then I'm going to start gluing the flowers at the top. Yeah, I did some gluing off camera. I glued down the bottom vines on this one, then the bottom vines on that one. I glued down a couple of flowers on that one. Now I'm going to glue down a couple of flowers on this one. You never completely do one thing and then try to do the other one. Like if you're sketching, you don't completely finish one eyeball and then try to draw the other eyeball if you're doing a face. You go back and forth to do the outside shape and then in, and or else they're never going to match. So you got to work on both at the same time. Do a little on one, then do a little on the other one. So I'm just layering up my flowers. Yeah, so that's my 9/11 story. And the thing that I noticed, they grounded all flights for what, a couple of days following that incident. And what I was so amazed by was that, I messed up my flowers here. The skies, it was so quiet without any planes flying overhead. And there were no contrails in the sky. Maybe because we lived not really close to an airport. The airport was pretty far away, but we were up on a hill. And you could always see the airplanes going by. Yeah, the skies were so blue and clear and quiet when all the planes were grounded. Something smaller put on that one. I gotta get the glue off my fingers. Okay, just to finish off the page, I think I'm going to put some little bit of sparkly in the center. I've been using this clear gel tacky glue. It takes a lot longer to dry than the regular tacky glue, but that can work to your advantage, because I could put my glue on and then cut my little bead. Well, I was so absorbed in putting these little tiny gems on the flowers and just talking away, telling a little story about the repair guy for my internet, that I didn't see that the camera had shut itself off because the battery was dead. So anyway, here is the finished product. And you can see how easy it was to make the building shapes. Watercolor background, stenciling with the bluebirds with my Dollar Tree stencil. And die cut flowers. Oh, my journaling down here, 9/11, 2001, 9/11, 2021, 20 years never forgotten. And I was just telling the story, I'll tell it over because the battery had died, that the idea I got of doing the flowers was from a children's book. I think it's called Drummer Hoff. They're getting this old-fashioned cannon ready to fire, and then finally the cannon does fire. I mean, don't see what it shoots at, and there's really no war scenes. It's just this cannon, and then it shoots. And then the very last picture in the book is the cannon is sitting in a field with flowers growing all over it. And so that's kind of like what I did here with the flowers on the two buildings. So I really like how it came out. And sometimes you just need to journal what's on your mind. That's what a journal is for, to do what's on your mind. And it really helps just to get it out. You should not hold it in. And journaling helps you get it out. Good therapy. Your journaling is good therapy. And I really need to do a couple pages about my health, because that always helps me too. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit for this clear clear gel, tacky glue, easy enough for me to say, right, to dry. And so I can't close my book till then. And just want to thank everybody for coming along today. And never forget, happy junk journaling. Bye-bye now.